now it is my great pleasure to welcome our dear colleagues from Slovakia, represented today by Mr. Lelovsky, from Poland, represented today by Mrs. Czetwertynska, and Hungary, represented today by Mr. Horvat. They are all going to talk about the distance learning in their countries and share their experience. And without any further delays, I would like to pass the floor to Mr. Mario Lelovsky from Slovakia. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to be present at this conference. May I ask you, can I present my presentation from my computer, or it will be shared centrally?
No worries. I will just stop the sharing, and you can share your slides. It's okay. Or I can do it for you. It's only up to you.
Okay, I think I can share it.
Perfect, Mr. Mario. Now you have the co-hosting rights, so you will be able to share it.
Okay. Okay, do you see my presentation?
Yes, we do.
Great, thank you very much. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am the representative of Slovak Digital Coalition, which already is in place more than 3 years. We are working in a field of improving digital skills in every field in our country. Let me discuss or present what we have been doing during the pandemic situation. First of all, I have also my personal experience from the distance learning because I have a son, 14 years, who was present at the distance learning. So I have, besides some statistical data, I have also my personal experience. First of all, our teachers, particularly in Slovakia, have started with online learning only during pandemic. Before this era, they presented only 20%, 21% of all teachers are using effectively digital tools during the education process, so which is only 1/5. During the pandemic, we have seen that it was very difficult to start with the motivation of teachers. First of all, many teachers thought that this is a very short-term issue and they don't have to switch. They don't have to switch to the online distance learning, and they were waiting. A lot of schools were waiting as well. And in opposite to what have been done by the Minister of Education in Czech Republic or Croatia, for example, where they said, yes, as of 1st of April or 15th of April or whatever, this is a deadline. Every school must start with the distance learning online education system. Unfortunately, we just got a new government, which took place or took power by the end of March. And our new minister said that the education process is postponed or paused. And those schools who are ready and who are willing to start with the online distance learning, they can start. Yeah, unfortunately, many schools, more than half of the schools understood it. Let's wait. We don't have to do it, so we will not do it. Other schools, they decided, okay, let's try, let's learn, let's use it, let's talk with our students and pupils, and they have started. So did the school of my son. So first of all, I see that this is a great issue of motivation of teachers, to motivate them why they should start with online distance learning. On one hand, it can be that there is an order by the ministry, there is an order by the directors of the schools, and then most of the teachers should start. But still, if the motivation is low, the quality is also quite low. And we have been discussing with many teachers later on. We've also started a lot of programs, how to motivate and how to bring them the skills they need for online distance learning. But we also see that we should talk to them as humans. And we found that we tried to explain them that they, as teachers, as personalities, will be much more important for and much more attractive for pupils if they start to use new technologies. because pupils, they are using the new technologies at home, or pandemia or not. And those teachers who only before use the classical techniques with the blackboard and so on, they probably have a chance, and they must use this chance to offer to students and to pupils new technologies. Next one would be using gaming style. All of us played games. Maybe not always the digital, but nowadays all the kids, most of the kids, I think 89%, frequently they're taking part as a certain gaming, digital gaming. So it would be good, and they understand this. They understand that they should not cheat. They maybe understand how to cheat digitally. They simply live in this gaming world. And if you use some gaming style during the academic process or educational process, it can help a lot. Of course, teachers should play games as well. So we have started to, during the education of teachers, we also ask them to present what games are they ready to play. It can be whatever, but they should understand at least certain rules of the games. And if they use it and they ask the pupils to play a game, to follow some rules, to achieve some results, and to be successful or try to be successful, this can help the pupils as well. So I think digital tools allow the teacher to be more talkative and listening as well, because this is not only one-way direction of an interaction. They should use more the digital communication systems to listen to students, to make groups, to allow students to work within groups, and also think out of the box, that this is not me as a teacher giving information or data or education to you as a pupil, that there should be more interactive as the digital technologies allow this. The very important thing is that please think what the other side thinks, because you are not present there, you don't feel the emotion of the student, so you have to imagine that what's going on the other side of this connection. Of course, for students as well, we have found out that students will be participating much more actively in online distance learning process if the learning content will be more interesting, of course, using more videos, more attractive tools, as well as discussing with students and pupils what do they have of free time activities. Of course, it's difficult to understand what everyone is doing, but I have also the experience that there should be more communication, not one, as I said, not one-way direction, but both ways directions. And during the education process, I have also seen, and it's not only my perspective, that some teachers started to use a lot of general information, a lot of videos and so on, and started to push a little bit pupils to some issues. I know and I understand that environmental issues are important, but I have to say, after this period of time, my son is completely fed up with the environmental issues, because these were one stream only. So there should be much more discussion with students. There should be somewhat fun included in that. I understand that it's not easy. It's a different process, but without interaction, without fun, without videos, without communication with students, this will not work. Yeah? So we also check whether we can ask students to prepare some gaming tactics and activities, because if you are talking with pupils from 12 years old and older, they are ready to do a lot, but you have to give a chance to them. Yeah? You have to offer them, please arrange the hour you are running the educational hour, or you should bring something to that. You should open a game or something like that. So give them more opportunity to present themselves and what they can do. Next to that, we have found out a lot of difficulties in internet access. In general, 18.5% pupils in Slovakia during the second half of the school year 2019-2020, so let's say May, June time, there were 18.5% without internet access, which is not good, and no distance learning at all. There are 7.5% of all pupils, which is a lot from my point of view. I have to say the ministry didn't do their job properly because they allow a lot of students without any distance learning. Yeah, the problem is that 70% of their Roma pupils, it's very difficult to bring Roma pupils to school in a normal time, not even during this time. But we have seen several very bright and good examples that it was done. For example, particularly with Roma community centers. So we were not...
I'm very sorry, Mr. Lelovsky, you have just 1 minute left.
Okay.
I'm very sorry to interrupt you, but please.
Sure, yes, sorry. So we have seen that if the assistants were talking to Omama during the community centers, that it was working, and we see that it can help even in the future much more. And digital tools and digital communication can improve the communication, because what we have seen, most of the Roma pupils are as well interested to the digital tools and communication as any other. So it can help. Also, the last point is digital coordinators. We have put in the government the issue that we should put in every school a digital coordinator. This should not be the school IT administrator. This should be a pedagogy professor with experience with the pedagogy, and this one should be forcing the digital transformation of the school together with the director. And then next to him should be school IT admin, who is taking care of the normal stuff. And I hope this will work. We are already educating 400 of such coordinators, and that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, and sorry for interrupting. The time is time is cruel to us, and now I would like to pass the floor to Mrs. Czetwertyńska from Poland, and I'm just going to ask if she wants to share her screen, or should I share the screen with the presentation?
If I could, I would like to share my screen with my presentation.
Perfect. You can.
I'm doing this right now. I
Yes.
hope, and share, and just make this.
Thank you, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that I'm here, and I'm also very happy with this last presentation, because it's quite similar. This is what I want to say, and that's something that shows why this kind of meetings are very important. So just for the beginning, my name is Aleksandra Czetwertyńska, and I'm here as a representative of Broad Alliance for Digital Skills in Poland, and I will share some our stories from pandemic in Poland. When pandemic starts, I'm working in digital center Centrum Cyfrowe. It's its foundation, but also many different organizations in Poland decide to make researches and studies, and because of that we have many data, so we can base our perspective and also our stories on this data, and it's quite important for us to have it. So now today I will talk mostly about two researchers, but because I have not a lot of time and I want to say a lot of things, it will be not only based on this one. What I want to say today, I want to show this teacher perspective, because I think teachers and principals perspective, I think it's very important. I want to show how this pandemic changed the way of working of teacher work, and what we can take from this. What does it mean? So first of all, we learned that teachers used and still use a lot of methods and a lot of tools. In one of the researches, we found out that average teacher used 9 different tools to connect and to teach and to make these lessons happen. So like it's quite a lot, and also different way of communication. They used links, and they used some like Kahoots or learning apps, or so this kind of tools. But then also Zoom, Skype, Google Meet, and so on. And then also in many schools they have platforms like Teams or like G Suite. So there was like a lot of stuff, and in very short time, because maybe I should start with this, that we also checked that in Poland teachers had no experience in online learning. It's not surprising. We expected that, and it was absolutely okay, because there was no we didn't have this needs before, so we knew it that it's like this, and they start to learn so fast, to use so many different tools, and it was of course very time consuming and very stressful for them, because it's very stressful if you have so little time and you want to make your work better and better, and you know that you have all this pupils and also parents that are watching you and really want to be sure that their kids are okay and their kids are learning. And there's also this part about ministry and what kind of help ministry could or couldn't give in this time. So that's how it looks. They used a lot of different methods, and they learning a lot. And what was the most important, and there was in many research we saw this self-help. They really cooperated and they really help each other. And we have this leaders in schools. And when we had these leaders at schools, the teaching process were so much better, and it's still so much better, and so easier for everybody, for teachers, for students, for parents. So this was like very important, but still we have this probably mostly feeling that the teachers cope really well in this very fast changing pandemic world. But we have two different approaches. In one schools, managers, principals said, okay, you have freedom, you can use whatever you want because you know your students and you know what they need. And that sounds really, really nice and open-minded. But on the end, that was very generates chaos, and it was very hard for teachers to be sure that they are using good tools, not too much, that their students can focus and not just playing with another like fifth or second or sixth quiz today, but they really has time to focus and to learn something. So they were very unsure if it's okay. And we have this another way that management or principals or sometimes cities, for example, provide this one platform. And that was very important for them, that they have this base, that there is this core, there's something that that they were sure that it's okay, they can use it. Also in materials, we had the same. We have a very big platform with e-textbooks, online textbooks. And they are not perfect, of course, because they're textbooks, but teachers very like to use them because that was something basic and something that was they were very sure that they are there, they can use it, they can provide the lesson. So this was something that we took from this few or more than a few months of distance learning. The teachers really need this. Maybe not only, maybe we all really need this safe basic place that when we can start, and then look for something interesting and then look for some something special and to try and make this classes better. And this is my last one. But my last my last slide. But I really like to talk about this because during this pandemic we had like a lot of bottom-up initiatives. It's not only this, I don't know, learning circles we can call it. Not only leaders at schools, but also national initiatives. This invite me to your lesson. It's on Facebook. It's huge, like 2,000 or 3,000 teachers, and not only teachers in this group. And a lot of teachers use it. You just can go there and say, okay, hi, I'm great in movies. I can make some lessons for your kids if you want. And then somebody will say, okay, nice. I want this lesson of movies and I don't know, cinematic at all. But maybe I can give you some lesson about biology, for example. And they just switch this lessons, and it works very nice because there's not only teachers, there's a lot of journalists, scientists there, so, and everybody were very involved, and they're still working and still provide these lessons. And another one, this Lekcje w sieci, it's like platform with videos. But it's videos with lessons. Maybe it's nothing special, but the special thing, this was really a social project. Nobody paid them to make it. They were just friends or even stranger people that they just connected and say, okay, I can make video about some science stuff or whatever they need. And they just create these videos at homes and put on this platform. And there was some people that just use their own time to check if this okay, if there's no mistakes, if these materials are in high quality, and it's really good to use and put to this platform. So this is something, and this is something to use. Of course, I don't want to say that this is great that teachers are using their free time to make education better, but maybe it is this power of making things better. It's something that we can use in the future, not only during pandemic and not only during remote education. Okay, and that's it. And thank you very much for today and for the invitation.
Thank you too, Alexandra. Now it is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Horvat again, and I would like to pass the floor to him. And he, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't have any slides, right? So in the meantime, I can share the screen just with your picture so that everyone can see you. But okay, you don't have any slides, right?
No.
Okay, then the floor is yours. Thank you.
For such a short time, I just did not bring any slides. Anyway, actually, there are a lot of similarities with the Slovakian and the Polish colleagues. So I will refer a lot to Mr. Lelovsky or to Mrs. Czetertinska. But anyway, my name is Adam Horvat. I work for the National Digital Skills and Job Coalition in Hungary. I'm the head of the education and training work group. So we put together some schools and training companies and IT companies who are interested in digital competence development in any way. But beside that, I work for a digital content development company as well, and I was working for the digital strategy of education for the Hungarian Ministry of Education. Well, Actually, I would like to point out that as Mr. Mart Lampere, who is an Estonian colleague of ours, who said that COVID did not really boost the digital education in each country, but pointed out its problems. And I think it's quite true that many of us just waited for such a boost like COVID could do for education to boost digital education. But actually, it just pointed out that there are a lot of problems in accessibility, in competence, and in other areas of digital education where we heavily need to develop our skills and provision in tools. In Hungary, there were, and then probably in most other countries, there were 3 types of school. The first type is where the digital education under COVID really helped, and it provided a new layers of education in which children and teachers could create new ways of communication, and it really helped to boost their performance. The majority of schools were really try to keep up the pace of the original, normal, traditional way of teaching in a digital format, with a lot of results and with a lot of resources and with a lot of efforts from themselves. And the third part of the schools were really struggling with reaching children or even reaching teachers at all. So 15 to 20% of children could not really participate in digital education due to problems of bandwidth or accessibility or any type of other problems. So actually, we cannot really find one solution for digital education under COVID, but we really have to provide different types of solution of the different types of schools who are just struggling to keep up the pace, or which are just have problems in connecting children or teachers in a digital format. So we can say that digital education during COVID was not a digital education at all. It was an emergency teaching via a digital platform in most of the cases. I don't want to repeat everything because it was really covering a lot by Mr. Lelovsky, the importance of the ICT coordinators or the importance of teacher training was also very important in Hungary. I would like to point out some emphasis points or some differences. What was really a new thing, that peer learning among teachers, online conversation among teachers were the best way of disseminating knowledge among teachers on how to use Kahoot or Redmenta or other services, or using Teams. So actually, instead of organizing traditional way of teacher training, teacher further training, the teachers were just sharing the knowledge, and the peer learning was the most effective way of keeping up the pace with this under this COVID situation. The other thing which was very effective in Hungary is providing free mobile internet access to educational resources. So anyone who were accessing the school system or the digital education platforms from home, they could get the internet access for free. Or if you use a mobile internet, and if you are accessing an educational portal, then it was not generating data which was counting in your invoice. So it was for free. And it was really a smooth and very fast way when the government and the telecommunication companies were agreed on providing digital resources online for free. That was a key move. The other thing which we were not really successful at is a common understanding of what digital competence is. We are at the beginning of the introduction of the DigComp framework in Hungary, the DICOM framework edu for teachers, or the DICOM framework for pupils. But it's essential to have a common understanding that what do you mean under digital competence, sharing of information, critical understanding of information. It's very important, especially these days when there are a lot of fake news on the internet. What was also working is the lending out computers. If a children just signed that they just don't have enough computers at home, the school had to lend the school computers to them. So they were just trying to solve these type of problems, and it was working successfully. What was a real challenge is the measurement and assessment during an online education. How do you test children? How do you give them marks when you cannot see their face, when you cannot really hear their voices? So it was really struggling for teachers to give out marks. How do you just be sure that the children are working on their own and so on? So fortunately, we didn't get to proctoring, which is quite widespread in other parts of the world, which provides a solution for eye movement tracking, and a lot of stuff where the children are under a serious surveillance during a test. I think the best move would be to create new type of tests in which you can really measure the creativity of children and not the lexical knowledge, because the lexical knowledge cannot be really measured through an open internet or through Teams or Google and so on. So in this way, teaching has to really change its subject, its content, and the methodology of it. I don't want to go deep inside that because we agreed on not to go on pedagogy, but only one sentence, probably you may allow me, that learning about existing solutions for known problems is the traditional way of teaching. But actually, if there is a known problem and a known solution, then it is available on the internet. So you cannot really test it. You cannot really develop skills around it. Now you have to learn about new solutions for new non-existing problems right now, which is a much more complex situation, and it requires group work and a lot of new aspects of education. So creating some small projects in which children have to use their interdisciplinary knowledge to solve problems, which requires a coordination among different subject teachers, is a new way of teaching. And probably this can be with us even after the COVID. So we have learned a lot from COVID, and we have to utilize and use that knowledge after the COVID situation. So thank you very much. I don't want to go deeper into that direction.